came back here and continued working, and ultimately landed an opportunity to go work in Australia.
So what were you doing? What were you doing in China for MLB? What was happening there?
At that time,
Yeah.
I was not. I literally cold called that office and said, how do I work for you in my broken Chinese? And from there, it did take some time. It took years of persistence to get my foot in the door with the commissioner's office here, who did all the hiring, and then ultimately it took 2 weeks for me to pack my bags once I finally got that call up and move to Australia and pursue my dream of running a franchise in Australia.
So before we get to that, because that's really like some of the pearls that we're about to talk about. But you cold call. We're talking about some hustle here. You were cold calling MLB in China.
Mm-hmm.
And just out of curiosity, what happened then? What happened when you cold called?
Major League
Baseball in China.
Just tracking down that number
Right.
was a bit of an endeavor. Finally got to a fellow expat who was working there and had been a long-serving employee in the international department for MLB, and he gave me some pearls of wisdom. Actually set up sort of a more of an informational interview.
Right.
They didn't have any authority to hire out of that office.
You still went after it.
Yeah,
you still found the phone number, which, by the way, in Beijing is probably almost close to impossible.
It was ridiculous
in and of itself, right?
Yeah.
And because you can't find anything they don't want you to find.
Yes.
So you did some real investigative work there, and then you got the phone call, and you worked with some people to get some information.
Yeah, and ultimately I was able to use his name and his credibility when then I started professionally badgering the MLB office here in New York. And I mean, all that aside, it's just like little serendipity moments. I started working at a software company when I moved back here to the US, met a woman on an airplane who also worked at MLB. And I gave her my card and I said, I beseech you, this has been a year-long effort now.
Right.
I've done it over there, I've done it over here, this is cross borders. I was able to cite that individual's name so she knew that I wasn't just
Right, so you weren't just some person who had a dream and
my God.
right.
I had been
You didn't
really,
show up at the airport and go, give me something.
Right, but it all followed this logical thread of me using whatever resources I had to get in there, and she passed along my details to another recruiter.